Hello FlossTube, Stacy here. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of Stacy Noel FlossTube, and Happy Valentine's Day! I know that this video is coming a tad bit late for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day was yesterday, but I'm going to tell all of you Happy Valentine's Day today. So, this has been a month where I kind of took a step back because my last FlossTube videos were on the Christmas presents that I did for my coworkers, and that was a lot of stitching every night just to get them all done in time, and so I took a little break from stitching for a tad bit. During my break I did a couple of other things, nothing too major. Mostly I just lounged around and watched TV. But one of the things that I did was Color Quest, which is basically color by number. This came from Michaels. I got it for Christmas, but it came from Michaels, so you can maybe find this at Michaels or possibly Joann's. They have books there too. I don't know about Hobby Lobby. I haven't really looked there. But I did the first one in here, which was hexagons, and this is what it ended up being, a leopard, I suppose. It has somewhat spots, so I'm assuming that it's a leopard, but it could be a different kind of wild cat. I don't know. Over here is where they show you the colors and what number goes with each color. So I just used markers for mine. And I started just barely on the second one. So while I was taking a break from stitching, that's what I worked on a little bit. So as far as plans go for the beginning of this year, I thought that I might get into a stitch along that is also a competition that starts in March and then goes for 10 weeks. It's called the Stitching Lee, Stitching Bee. Yeah. Stitching Lee, Stitching Bee. And what it is a different challenge every week for 10 weeks. And I wasn't sure if I had limited information. I didn't know what the challenges would be if you had to design your own thing. There's charts that you can buy, but in order to win prizes, you have to, well, buy your way in, which is not expensive at all. It's pretty cheap, and to be able to win prizes every week, you submit your entry each week, and then at the end you can win a grand prize, all this stuff. So I decided not to do that, but I am going to keep my eye on it this year. Maybe it's something I want to get into next year once I see how this year goes. And also because the last 2 weeks or so of it, we're going to go right over top of Stitch Mania, which I'm going to participate in Stitch Mania this year again, just like I did last year. And so that Stitching Bee, I won't be taking part, but I'll keep my eye on it and see what kind of stuff it is, so maybe next year I might participate. Also, the next video that I post, I am hoping will be on the mosaic candles, a tutorial. I did show the mosaic candles in a video a few months ago. I think it might have been November or October. I showed the mosaic candles that I had done and that my mom had done. And then this video will be on how to put one together. HAED, Heaven and Earth Designs, had a sale going on, and who am I to pass up a sale? I had always been looking at Heaven and Earth Design stuff, especially Josephine Wall, her artwork. And so whenever they put their stuff on sale, I was like, heck, why not just buy a couple? So I got a couple of those. I started on one, but I won't show you that one right off the bat. The first one I'll show you, I did not print yet. I just downloaded the PDF, but I didn't print it. But it is for what they call the Three Graces. This is what it looks like. So there are 3 separate, and I probably, whenever I stitch these and I put them, probably put them all on the same fabric, but I probably will not, this thing bounces all over the place, but I probably will not put them in this order. I'll probably put possibly this one first, this one in the middle, and then this one on the right. So left, middle, right. Just because I don't want the same colors, like all of this is cool colors, half of this is cool colors, and then this and this kind of match. So I didn't want it all to be kind of blending into each other. I want them to be a little bit more uneven, I guess. So I'll put the all cool one, I think, in the middle, and then we'll put the really warm one over here and the half and half over here. That's my plan anyway. We'll see if I even ever stitch it. I may not. If y'all know me, I may not even stitch it. But they were on such a good sale that I just had to go with it anyway. The other 2 that I bought were also Josephine Wall, and I'll show you those in a second. But I got something in the mail, and this is stitchy related. I got some needle minders from Etsy. The Crafting Tree, which I say it like that because she puts it as the Crafting Tree with 3 E's on tree is the name of the shop. And I've gotten 2 needle minders from her before, a Cruella de Vil and Wonder Woman. So if on my Instagram you see the Cruella de Vil or the Wonder Woman, it came from the same place. So it looks like all these have magnets in their head. There's 3 of them, and this is what I got. The Sanderson Sisters, which I don't think she has any more of this one left. She does have separately this one and this one that you can buy separately. I think they're $11 each. But there's me some new needle minders, and the Sanderson Sisters, for me, you can go all year round, not just at Halloween. So those are very cool. She does, on the Crafting Tree, some of the best character needle minders that I've seen on Etsy. They're a lot of fun. Good. Okay, now to show you the other 2 Heaven and Earth designs that I got. Oops, sorry. So these kind of go together a little bit. One of them, and both of these are minis because the really, really big ones, I just don't see myself ever finishing. So even the mini is, this one is 260 by 325 stitches. So that's still pretty large. The first one, Daughter of the Deep by Josephine Wall. And I printed these and I just put them in a 1/2-inch binder. I put the title page on the front. If you turn to look inside, I have another title page with the picture. This is the only picture you get of the design whenever you download. I feel like I'm reading to a kindergarten class. Anyway, then they had a couple of instructions which I just printed off. Then the floss list, which is all DMC. Then I put the stitching log that I always do. Both of the ones that I got for the Heaven and Earth have Krynic. Here's the stitching log. I haven't started on this one, so it's blank. Man, those lights are really bleaching it out. Anyway. And then I have graphed out the entire design so I can mark it off as I go. And then printed off the chart. And then in another binder, the one that goes along with that, I have started, and it's called Heart and Soul. This one, it looks like she's kind of in space, even though it's butterflies, but this kind of looked like space to me. And the other one is ocean, so that's why I kind of got those two together. Same thing, printed off the title sheet again. Instructions. This is the information stitch log. There we go. I got the bleached effect off from the lights. I have worked on this one a little bit. Just a little bit. You can see this on my Instagram, which there is a link to on the home page for YouTube. Here is how much I have done. I've been marking it off with the color of highlighter that I designated on the stitch log. And then the floss list and the chart after that, which I also am marking off with the colors that are on the stitch log. I also, the first time I wrote down symbols that I had done and then marked them out if I didn't save the string for parking, the floss, and wrote down all the symbols that I did on the second time I timed myself, and third time, and I started the fourth time, and marked them off if I did not leave a floss in the next 10 by 10 square for the parking method. So that's kind of how I'm doing those. And I'll show you what I started on for that one, which is the top corner. And here is another needle minder, like I said, that I got from the crafting tree a while back. She still has one of these Cruella de Vil's. But this is the part that I had marked off, as you saw on the grid. And then down here I started working on the fourth little part that I'm going to do. And so that's how much I have done on it. I've done it on 16 count, even though it calls for 18 count, because the ones that I did on 18 count for the Christmas gifts, the floss kept, I did 2 strands of floss and it kept fraying and breaking in half. And so then I would have to cut it and rethread it and start another one whenever I ran out of floss a lot quicker. And so that's why I did it on 16 count, so that way I could use 2 strands of floss. And I haven't had one break yet on the 16 count, so that's the reason I did the 16 count instead of the 18 count, because I did not want to just do 1 strand of floss on 18 count. You would have been able to see past the stitches where the fabric was a little bit too easy. So that was my new start, and I talked myself into, you will not start another project, Stacy, until you finish one. So I also have a finish, which is this soda stitch, one of the soda stitches that I started back in May for Stitch Mania. This soda stitch is the Wizard of Oz. I have it on a larger piece of fabric because I'm going to do 2 more below it. So that's why it's still in the Q-snap frame. But here is the finish that I talked myself into finishing before I started another project, which I should really do for all the projects. In order to start one, I need to finish one. I just have so many large projects that that's kind of hard to do. I like starting them, I'm just not the biggest fan of finishing them, I guess. So the things I changed in this one were, this was pink in the graph, and I changed the Emerald City to be emerald. So it's green on my stitching. And Toto was white in the chart, and I changed him to be more like Toto was in the movie, and also my little Yorkie dog, brown and gray. So I think those are the only 2 changes I made. I think so. So those are the only 2 changes I made. But I did find it interesting that the Wicked Witch, which I'm assuming is this one with her castle, is not in the west. And then her sister, the one that the house fell on with the ruby slippers, was the Wicked Witch of the East, and she is not in the east. And then you have Glinda, the Good Witch, down here with the poppies and pink. And I think she was, Glinda the Good Witch, was she north or south? Anyways, I don't remember. But they kind of got him a little bit backwards compared to the Wizard of Oz that we all know. A lot of back stitching, which I'm okay with back stitching. It's not my favorite, but the Heaven and Earth designs, they don't have any back stitching at all, so they're just epically huge. But no back stitching, so once you finish it, all the crosses, you're finished. There is no extra stuff that you have to do afterwards. But I thought that this one was really cute. It will be followed down here by Peter Pan in the middle, and then at the bottom it will be the Little Mermaid. Both of those are, all 3 of those are Soda Stitch patterns. So, I think that that is everything. Again, happy Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you. My next video will be, hopefully, fingers crossed, on the mosaic candles. As far as FlossTube goes, I will see you in March for episode 3. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at StacyNoelCP, and I will see you next time.